So today I want to talk to you guys for a minute about how to organize your research. If you want to look at your packet along with me, you can take out your best friend. This is Fred. And page through here with me, okay? Keeping your research organized to eliminate work for you later is a really important thing. And so if you turn to page 11 in your packet, you should have something that looks like this. Or you can look at my screen here. And you should have by now your claim statement written in, and then you should have in those three ideas that you want to research and collect evidence to support. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is think about your first point and look at kind of the keywords. So maybe your key in mine, it says over time kids are spending more time indoors and are less active. Maybe I would write down kids more, or I would just probably write down more time indoors / less active. And so I would actually do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip to the back of my cover page. So you're basically on page 2 and it should be red. And do you see the number 1 here? I want you to actually write in those keywords right there on number 1. So I'm writing down more time indoors, less active. Okay. Now on this piece of paper, any research that I find that supports that idea, that information is going to be written down on this sheet. Okay. And you see over in the column here where it says source number, those source numbers are super important. And I'll explain to you in a couple minutes how that will work. All right. What I want you to do next then is to go back to page 11 in your packet, look at your second point, find the keywords, and then turn to the next page in your packet, which should say body paragraph number 2. And this is page 3. Okay? You're going to write down the keywords there. So mine would say society allowing kids, maybe something like too much freedom. Kind of rewording it. Okay. Now when I'm researching and any information that I find that supports that idea, that's going to go on to this page. And then same thing with point number 3. I'm going to flip to the next page in my packet where it says body paragraph number 3, okay, and I'm going to put the keywords there. So, save money on healthcare, okay. So that's kind of step 1. You have to set up, get yourself organized to do your research, right? The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to go into Google Classroom, and when you go into Google Classroom, you know, I'm a teacher, so I have a view of a teacher here, so you'll see, I see all 5 of these resources listed, but you're going to actually have to click on Argumentative Research Unit Hotspot in order to get to this note source record thing, all right? So I'm going to have you go there next, and when you pull that open, you're going to see this page, and it's going to look just like this. Directions at the top. Use the table below to keep track of your sources. This information will be used to make your works cited page later. You are only required to have 4 sources. All right, so there's a list of like 8 here, but you only need to use 4 of them. So you're going to go out into the world Wide Web, and you're going to do your research, and when you find an article that you like that has information on it that's going to work in one of your body paragraphs, okay, you're going to record information about that website here, all right? So I'm going to show you an example. If you actually go back to Google Classroom and you click on Library Media Center Overview, that's going to take you to our Media Center where you can click on this e-resources link, and it'll give you all these different libraries. These are all different types of article libraries and hold information. And one that I really like to use for argumentative research is opposing viewpoints. So you can click on that and it'll bring you to a search box. Notice that it says opposing viewpoints over here, and you're in the Anoka Hennepin Public Schools like safety zone. and everything in here is credible. It's all been vetted for credibility, so that's a good thing. So you can go into the search and type in your keywords, right? And so I looked at my first idea here. Over time, kids are spending more time indoors and are less active. And I typed in something like kids less active, not going outdoors or something. And this article popped up. And I started reading it. And it's actually a broadcast, a news broadcast from NPR, which I know is to be a very credible news radio station. Okay, and so I started reading this article, and right away I just knew this was going to be a resource that I'd want to use in my essay, a source that I want to reference in my essay. The very first couple sentences really spoke to my topic in body paragraph number 1. Okay, so what I do is I go to my body paragraph number 1. Okay. And I would find the quote that I want to write down in my notes to save for later when I'm writing my essay. And I would just write it down. And you can paraphrase right here, right then and there. You can paraphrase so I can reword this if I want to. And I'd put that information into my note sheet. Because I thought you might want to see it electronically, I did it already. I can't get over. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry. So I went to the website, I took that quote, and I copied and pasted it onto my electronic version of this. I gave you guys paper versions of this because I don't want you to do quotes all the time. I want you to paraphrase. So I'm going to make you write it out in hopes that you'll paraphrase things instead of quote it. But for the sake of time right now, I just put in the quote. And then notice that I wrote a number 1 here. Okay, remember I told you that this source column is super important. I wrote a number 1 here because when I go back to Google Classroom and I pull up this paper, I'm going to have all the information about this article listed right here. So then when I'm writing my essay, anything that has a number 1 next to it, I know came from this source. Okay, so the name of the website is Opposing Viewpoints in Context. So I'm going to type in opposing viewpoints in context. Apparently I can't spell, of course. And then for the author's name, I'm going to look and see. Usually if there's an author's name, it's going to be right at the top. And I actually don't see an author's name listed here. So I'm going to put NA. Means not applicable. And then I'm going to look for a year. What year was this broadcast done? It was 2015. So I put that here. Then the most important thing that you really need to do is click on the URL. That's the web address at the top. And you can copy it and you can paste it right into this part here. Notice it's really long. It doesn't matter that it's long and ugly. It doesn't matter. Just click on it, and then did you see what I just did? I did that so fast and automatically. I'm sorry. I'm linking it now. So if you highlight the link, or highlight the text that should be a link, and then click the insert link button, it'll automatically link it for you. So now, anytime you want to go back to this article, all you have to do is click on the link. So if anybody questions your work or anything like that, you can, or if there's more, if you only have 5 minutes left of class and you find this great article, you don't have time to read it, link it and then go, all right? So now, anytime that I use information that came from this article in my essay, I'm going to use this information to make my works cited page, my reference page later, all right? So keep yourself really organized and make sure that the research that you're looking up is intentional, and really you should be focusing on these 3 things the most. This is what you're looking for evidence to support. You want to support each of these 3 ideas, okay? Because these 3 ideas support your claim statement, your big idea, and that's your overall goal, is to make this as true as possible, all right? If you have any questions about anything, you can email me, but also remember that you have this index in the front. If you don't know how to copy and paste, there's helpful key commands in here, page 25, 26. There's all kinds of helpful things in here. So make sure that you study that index. All right? Thanks, everyone.